Well, joining me on the show, as she does every Friday at this time, Tanya Unkovich. Tanya, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, we're going to be taking a look at a really important topic today, something that I think all of us are going to find really helpful, talking about honouring our parents, our mum and dads. Now, this is particularly important for you right now and a really personal journey as your parents are at the stage of their life journey where it is sort of in their final days or weeks. I mean, this is tough stuff, Tanya.
It is tough stuff. And, it's life. It is life. And I know it's easy to say that, but it is life. And so I'm embracing it. This is one of the lows of life, but, I can also reframe it and say this is actually also a beautiful time of life because it really is actually walking with them on this journey. Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, I mean, it is something that, this time last week when we were talking, you weren't quite at this stage, but you got some news over the weekend that actually things were taking a turn.
Yeah, interestingly, it was Saturday morning and we got a phone call from Dad's rest home to say that there was an event. It's a very serious event. So thankfully, I was all ready to go and I went over there. I took the ambulance ride with Dad to Auckland Hospital where he spent a few days. We were told that it was a matter of hours or days. And he's still with us 6 days later, but that's Dad. And so, as you know, Mum's in a separate rest home. She's immobile. So the following day we got her there and that was a mission. But, the beautiful thing was it was around the time that there was a mass happening and the priest came along and anointed them both together. So it was, I just have so much faith that God has his hand on every moment at the moment and it's all as it's meant to be. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Dad is still with us. Mum's taken a decline, probably because she's aware of what's happening. And interesting, I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't much space between the two of them going back to the Lord. So,
I mean, they have been married for many years, haven't they?
Nearly 70 years. They met they've been together since they were 16. So they're both 88, 89 now, so do the math. First love, only love, so yeah, quite a journey.
Yeah, it really is. So one of the things, that we've been talking about is being at peace with our parents and the importance of this. I mean, what does that look like practically? And what does that feel like? Because you're at that stage where you're like, I'm just at peace with what's happening and with my parents.
Yeah, it's interesting. When I was 16, and I've written about this in my books, I won't talk too much about it, but I had a meeting with a couple of elderly Christian people, and the first thing they said to me when I was a troubled teenager were, are you at peace with your mother and father? And he said to me, it's very important to honour your mother and father. When you are at peace with your mother and father, then you will be at peace with yourself. Now, at 16, I never forgot those words. And even during difficult times with Mum and Dad, those words would always come back and it would go, Tanya, forgive, reconcile, and that has been one of my biggest blessings in life was that conversation when I was 16. And, now as they are at literally the end days of their life and I'm reflecting on what honouring my mother and father means, it is so much about that, being at peace, helping them to pass with dignity, making sure you've said everything, making sure that they don't feel fear, making sure that they are loved and comfortable. And, I just feel that there's no greater honour than walking along someone as they are taking their final act. It's just an extraordinary experience. And to feel that peace, to know that when eventually they take their final breaths, I will feel it. I've been grieving the whole way, but everything just feels complete. As Jesus said on the cross, it is finished, Same kind of thing. Yeah. So, yeah, I talked a lot then, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's such an important thing for your relationship with them, but also going into the future, looking back and going, this ended really well. It was hard, but it ended well. I mean, it is tough at the moment, and particularly tough for your family because of issues around COVID. Your siblings are actually overseas. How is that going?
Not a lot of fun for them, unfortunately.
Mm,
One's in Europe and two are in Australia, so no one will be back.
yeah.
And it's about goodbyes on video and tears on video and that sort of thing. So it is really, really tough. Thank goodness
Mm,
we've got that to be able to do that. But, these are the hidden costs of COVID, aren't they? And
yeah.
my heart goes out to people who have not been able to be beside loved ones during the end stage, because the grieving process is very much part of the living process.
Yeah.
It goes hand
Yeah.
in hand, and to be incomplete in that grieving process must be very, very difficult. I feel unspeakably grateful to be able to be here. And, I'm always taking loads of videos of Dad and sharing it to all my family and that, so they're feeling connected.
Mm,
But boy, what it must be like for those who have not or have not done it, the grief must be intense.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, that is tough. Now, for those who are perhaps looking at a future in the near future where this is a possibility for them, there are some steps you can take to ensure that you'll be okay as well, because are walking through the process with them, but at the same time, you've got that sort of grieving, the underlying grief going on. So it's important to look after yourself, isn't it, during this time?
yeah, without question. And the thing I would say is to be present in the moment. Be
Mm-hmm.
present even in your pain. Try not to run from your pain. Yeah, sometimes we do need to be strong in front of them and that. And I'll come home and I'll be crying in the middle of the night in bed. But let the tears come. Feel every emotion, because you'll never get it back. You'll never be able
Mm,
to be in that moment again. So experience it. Pain passes. What always comes after pain and grief is joy.
mm,
And
mm.
to know that it'll be swings and roundabouts, that tsunami flows and then it comes down. Looking after yourself, being present means not running to the alcohol, not running to the food, not doing everything to escape the feelings.
Mm,
Just
mm,
really take care of yourself. And, I'm just really nurturing myself as much as I can to make sure I'm strong,
yeah.
physically strong.
So
So,
we're talking, exercise, nutrition, all of those really important things, the practical things of life. But
yeah.
actually, the practical things get you through the hard, emotional, mentally tough times, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. The nutrition is probably the most important thing. I don't have time to exercise, but I'm
Mm.
doing so many steps and the adrenaline burns.
Yeah, this is
Mum and Dad are
true.
actually at different ends of the rest home, so I'm going between one and the other. But, I'm doing things like just buying those big green smoothies. They're all in my fridge.
Mm.
I'm all prepared, and I
Yeah.
just make sure that I'm hydrated more than anything and getting my greens and just staying present with the moment and
Mm.
continuing to honour my mother and father and the life that they live and have lived, and be grateful for the genes and the lessons that I
Mm.
got from them. It's a
Yeah.
precious time.
Because it is about them. It's about showing up for them, right?
Very much about them. It is
Mm.
very much about them.
Tanya, before you go, and it's a bit of a tough thing to be talking about because it's so very personal, but for someone who is facing this, are there any tips? Are there any books that you can read? Is there anything that you can suggest to help them prepare for what's going to be
What's
happening in their
going on?
life? Yeah.
I've got a lot of articles on my website about what
Mm,
to say to people who are dying, what to do for yourself, how to embrace the process, how to take care of yourself. So on my website, there's a lot of articles that have been written and published. My YouTube channel, if you look in there, there's a whole lot there on how to go through the grieving process and
mm,
show up for yourself and for them during the grieving process. So,
yeah.
yeah, plenty there.
Plenty there. Tanya, thank you so much for being so open this morning. And we really do hope for the next few days, for the weeks ahead for you. We'll be praying for you and your family. And we do hope that in these moments that there can be that peace.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your prayers to everyone.